Have you gotten tired of people telling you that you just have to learn to communicate better to fix the issues in your marriage? I don't believe for a moment that the issues in your marriage are caused by your inability to communicate. I do, however, think that if you can't communicate, if you can't ever have a conversation in which you can approach your spouse about something that pertains to them and not feel confident that it will be heard, that they will seek to understand, and that they'll seek to collaborate on some sort of resolution to keep the marriage connected, if you can't do that, you don't have a very good relationship. I can give you some general rules of engagement that can help keep a conversation open so that you can actually talk about things with a potential to resolve them. One of the first keys is don't speak for the other person. So if you are having a conversation where your sentences start with you, you're probably speaking for the other person. You're saying something about what they always do, or what they're always thinking, or what they're never doing or never thinking. When that comes out of your mouth, it's you identifying what you believe is going on in their heads. The reality is you can't read their mind, so it's much better to just speak from your own perspective. So instead of saying, you don't love me, say, I feel unloved. Very different perspective, keeps the conversation open, even if it is the truth. The other thing about not using you is that you comes out as an accusation more often than not. And so the very next sentence from your spouse is going to be some sort of defense. And when defensiveness happens, when it's, some sort of trying to make it clear that they're not who you said they were, they didn't do what you said, that wasn't their intent or whatever, you've just lost the conversation. It's done. Nobody's going to hear anything else that's being said because now you're in the courtroom. It's the prosecutor and the defender. So even if what you have to say, again, is true, it does not keep the conversation open to make it an accusation. So that's the second rule of thumb. So the first one is speak in terms of I, speak for yourself, let your spouse speak for themselves, and then don't speak in terms of accusations. We teach the model that starts with, I feel, with a feeling word. Don't use like or that in the sentence, because as soon as you say like, I feel like, usually the next word is you, which is, first of all, not a feeling word, and second of all, is an accusation, and so you've just started a fight. So, I feel like, with a feeling word, and I need to feel, again, with a feeling word, and then a specific positive request. And so, your specific positive request is something you are requesting of your spouse that you would like to see happen, said in terms of what you do want to see, not what you don't want to see. That's what makes it specific and positive. And you'll be addressing something you have been seeing without outrightly calling it out and making an accusation. Here's a simple example that I like to use. I feel unloved, and I want to feel important and connected. If you could just stop by the kitchen when you come home from work and give me 5 minutes of undivided attention, that would be huge in helping me feel loved. I could say, you never love me, you never pay any attention to me, you go straight to the couch when you come home and I never see you. I could say that. It could be totally true. But if I say that, it starts a fight. When I say I feel unloved and I need to feel loved, that's very different. And when I make that request, I am addressing something that's not happening, putting it in the context of what I want to see happen in such a way that my spouse is much more likely to hear it and want to do it. Keep in mind, when you speak from your own perspective about what you're feeling, rather than someone else's behaviors that caused that feeling, but then make a request to help address that so that you're not put in that same environment, you can go a long way to get something resolved rather than continue to fight about it or keep going round and round and round in the courtroom like you're used to doing. The real point is, if you can't talk about things, then you can't resolve them. And if you can't resolve them, then you're not going to have connection in your marriage. So pay attention to those simple little rules of engagement, and more than likely, that will help you have a conversation that actually gets resolution.